Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this butterfly plushie. I will put the materials in the next slide and then we can go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're going to start by making the body. You will need your yarn that you're using. It doesn't have to be white, and your crochet hook. And we're going to start by putting 3 single crochet in a magic ring. So I'm going to make my slip knot. And then chain 2. And in the first chain, that's where we're going to put the 3 single crochet. So it's just pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3 times. And then into the first single crochet that we made. So if you count 1, 2, 3, it'll be this one right here. You're going to place a single crochet right there, and then you're going to mark that stitch. Okay. All right, so that was round 1. Now for round 2, you're going to do an increase in every stitch. So 3 single crochet increases. So we just need to put another single crochet in that stitch to make it an increase, and then do an increase in the next 2 stitches as well. Now into that first stitch, we're going to place a single crochet and mark it. Okay, so now for round 3, it's going to be a single crochet and then an increase 3 times until you have 9 stitches. So that was the first single crochet. In the next stitch, you're going to do an increase. And the next stitch is going to be a single crochet, increase, okay. So now we have 9 stitches. So for round 4, you're just going to do 9 single crochet all the way around. Okay, so at the beginning of round 5, place a single crochet in the first stitch and replace your marker. And now it's going to be 2 single crochet and then an increase. So we're going to end up doing that 3 times until we have 12 stitches. So that was our first single crochet. You're going to put another single crochet in the next stitch, and then that 3rd stitch will be an increase. And we follow that pattern 2 more times until we get to the end of the round. Okay, so now we have 12 stitches. So for round 6, it's just going to be 12 single crochet all the way around. Okay, now for round 7, we're going to take our stitch marker out and place a single crochet there. And that'll be our first single crochet, round 7. It's going to be 3 single crochet and then an increase. So that was the first single crochet, 2, 3, and then the 4th stitch is going to be an increase. So you're going to keep doing that all the way around 3 times, 3 single crochet and then an increase, and you'll have 15 stitches. So now we are going to take the stitch marker out and put our first single crochet of round 8, and then replace the stitch marker. And now for rounds 8 through 9, it's just going to be 15 single crochet all the way around. So just a single crochet in every stitch for the next 2 rounds. Okay, now we're at the beginning of round 10, so we're going to take the stitch marker out. And round 10 is going to be 3 single crochet and then an invisible decrease all the way around. So 3 different times we're going to do that, and then we'll have 12 stitches at the end. So that was our first single crochet. We're going to do another single crochet, then our 3rd single crochet, and for the 4th stitch, it's going to be in the next 2 stitches right here. We're going to do an invisible decrease. So it's basically like a decrease, except you're trying to hide the gap a little bit, so that's why it's called an invisible decrease. So instead of going through like both stitches like that, like you normally would for a decrease, you just go through this back loop only, pull up a loop, and then go through the next back loop only, pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, and then you will just pull through like that. So I'm going to repeat that. 3 single crochet, and then invisible decrease. All right, and then we'll just do that one more time to get to the end of this round. And you can just do a regular decrease here if it's like too complicated or whatever, but it just kind of makes the gaps like a little bit less noticeable, so that's why I do it. And then for round 11, it is going to be just 12 single crochet all the way around. So that was our first single crochet, so I'm going to mark the stitch, and then you just keep doing single crochet this entire round. Okay, so now after round 11, this is where I like to start adding some of my stuffing. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And you don't have to fill it up all the way, just kind of start stuffing, and then as we go, we'll put more stuffing in there. Okay, so now for round 12, you're gonna, do a single crochet in the first stitch, and then mark it, and then another single crochet. So this whole round is going to be 2 single crochet and then an invisible decrease. So that was our first 2 single crochet, and then now we'll do an invisible decrease, and we will just continue that pattern until we have 9 stitches. So you'll do that 3 times. Now we're at round 13, which is where we're going to start to build up the head. So it's going to be an increase round. So we're going to go ahead and put a single crochet in that first stitch and then mark it. And this whole round will be increased. So I'm going to put another single crochet in that same stitch to make it an increase. And then you'll do an increase in every stitch, and you should have 18 stitches at the end. All right, now for round 14, it's gonna be 2 single crochet and then an increase. So I'll do the first single crochet and mark it, the next single crochet, and then our increase. And we're gonna keep going like that until we have 24 stitches. So 2 single crochet and then an increase 6 times total. Now for round 15 through 16, it is going to be just a single crochet in every stitch. So you should still have 24 stitches at the end of both of these rounds. So just a single crochet for 2 rounds, and then I'll meet you at the beginning of round 17. Round 17 is where we're going to start to do our decreases to close the head. So for this round, it's going to be 2 single crochet and then an invisible decrease. So that was our first single crochet, second, and then our invisible decrease. And you will in total do that 6 times, and you should have 18 stitches at the end of this round. Now for round 18, it's going to be a single crochet and an invisible decrease all the way around. That was our first single crochet. Now we will do our invisible decrease, and in total you're going to do this 6 times, and you'll have 12 stitches at the end of round 18. Now before we go on to the last round of the body, which is round 19, I'm going to go ahead and finish mostly stuffing this like almost the entire way. And then before we do that though, we do need to add our eyes. So I have some eyes here. I'm not sure what size they are, but I will, at the beginning of this video in the materials slide, I'll tell you what size they are. So just go back and look at that if you need to. Okay, and we are going to end up adding these eyes between about row like 15 and 16. Yeah, so they'll be about here. And then you just want them to be 3 visible stitches apart, or around somewhere around there. So I'm going to place the first one, okay? And I don't put the backings in until I'm like absolutely sure that's where I want them to be. So I wouldn't put them in just yet. I'll tell you when. And then about here is where I want the other one to go. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good, but if you need to move yours around or whatever, that's fine until they are at a place where you like them. They don't have to be exactly where I put mine. This is just where I like them. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put the backings on there. Just make sure that they are secure. Okay, now we're going to stuff the rest of the butterfly. And then after our last round, you can add more stuffing if you need to. But if I do any more than this, it's going to be really hard to do that last round. So I'm just going to keep it there. And now for round 19, it is going to be an invisible decrease all the way around, which can be a little tricky with all the stuffing, but we will just make it work. So go ahead and do the first one. All right, and then after the first one, we'll mark that stitch. Don't forget to do that. And then just invisible decrease the rest of the way around, and you should have 6 stitches. All right, now we can take the stitch marker out, and you just need to leave kind of a long end to be able to sew the gap shut. But you can go ahead and cut your yarn and pull it through that last stitch. Okay, and now I'm going to take my tapestry needle and just sew that gap shut. And then if you see some of these kind of like weird gaps right here, you can just go through and like sort of cover them up by just going through them like with the yarn, just randomly wherever you see gaps, and it'll kind of close them and make them look filled in a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to sew on the mouth and cheeks. So for the cheeks, I just go in the spot that's like right off to the side of the eyes, and I'm just using like a smaller weight pink yarn. This is medium 4, and then I kind of go up through like right here, the stitch that's over from the eye, but like still kind of in line with it, see? And then I'm gonna go over like right almost on the eye, because that's where I want my cheeks to be. But again, if you want them to be like a little bit underneath, you could do that too, and it would still look good. Okay, so I'm gonna go like as close as I can get to the eye and back through the stitch we went through. And whoops, okay. Just make sure it doesn't get tangled up. Okay, and then just pull it, and that is what you want it to look like. So now I'm gonna go over that 2 more times because I want the cheeks to stand out more. But basically we'll repeat the exact same thing on the other eye. And then to lose this end of yarn, just go through that same place and then just come out a random stitch. And just cut your yarn. Okay, so now I'm gonna add the mouth. So I'm just using my little bit of black yarn, and I'm going to just look and see where like the center point of the eyes are, which is here. And then if you draw a line down, this is where I want the bottom of the mouth to be, and then the 2 points will go up like that, so it'll be like a V. So I want to go through here, here, and here. So I'm going to start here, similar to how we did the cheeks. I'm just going to push my tapestry needle up through that point, and then go down to the bottom right here, and then back up through that same stitch the yarn is coming out of. Okay, just like that. And then I'm gonna go over to this other point that I want my mouth to be at. And then I'm going to go down to that same point. And then come back up through where the yarn's coming out of. Okay. Now I'm going to go over that one more time to make it stand out a little more. Okay, now we're going to place our antennas onto the butterfly. So you will need the yarn that you used for the body and your crochet hook. And basically you're going to go through like the last 2 rounds we did at the top of the head, but they're going to be kind of off to the side. So I look at the eyes and I kind of like make a diagonal line upwards and then kind of figure out which stitch I want them to be in. So I'm going to go through this space right here, and I'm going to pull up my white yarn, whoop, just like that, and then you're going to chain 4, 3, 4, okay, and then in the second chain from the hook you're going to place 2 half double crochet, so yarn over, go through that next stitch, and then place half double crochet, and then you'll place another one in the same stitch. Now for these next 2 stitches, we're going to put a single crochet in each. And this part's kind of awkward, but it's relatively easy. You just got to make sure that it's on there good. Okay. All right, there it is. All right. So now we need to kind of secure it on there. So we need to make a slip stitch in the original, stitch that we went through to like pull the yarn up from. So I just go through like that, and then you can cut your yarn, and I leave a little bit of an end just because I like to kind of go over with my tapestry needle and just really make sure it's on there good. Honestly, it's kind of an optional step because, I mean, it is on there. I just kind of like to sew it to secure it more. And then you just need to do the exact same thing on the other side. Just make sure that it's like in line with the other one, if that makes sense. Okay, so now we are done with the body, and the only thing we have left is the wings.